Hi guys, today's lesson is how to graph quadratic functions in standard form. These are the basic notes that you will have, and after you copy them down, I will go ahead and work out 2 examples for you. Okay, so go ahead and pause this, get everything copied down, and then when you're ready, I will work out 2 examples. All right. Here we go. Okay, here's the first example. Y equals 3x squared plus 6x plus 1. So if you're looking at what to do, the very first thing you want to do is write down your axis. Okay, and if you remember from the other side here, watch, I'll show you. Oops. The axis of symmetry is x equals negative b over 2a. All right, so the axis is negative b over 2a, and keep in mind this is probably review, but I'll say it again. Remember, this is your a, this is your b, and this is your c. Okay, so negative b is going to be negative 6. So axis is x equals negative 6 over 2 times your a, which is 3. Your a is 3, so 2 times a, which is 3. And we get negative 6 over 6, which equals negative 1. So my axis is x equals negative 1. There's my axis of symmetry. Okay? All right, and on the graph, it's not, I guess, yeah, it's pretty clear. I highlighted the lines there. Here's my x-axis and my y-axis. So if x is negative 1, I'm going to start here at the origin. I probably shouldn't have to tell you this, but you go back 1 space in the x direction because it says that x is negative 1, and this is where I'm going to draw my axis of symmetry. Now, if you don't have graph paper, that's okay. I just used graph paper because I had some and I wanted to make my presentation look neat, okay? If you're already very neat and you don't have graph paper, that's fine. But if you want to go to the store and buy some, that's awesome. Or if you want to find a PDF or something and print out your own graph paper, that's awesome, all right? Okay, the second thing is our vertex. We want to know where the vertex of our parabola is, okay? And I've just said 2 words that probably need some attention. So let me go back here. First thing I said was vertex, and that's this guy right here. And I also said parabola. If you haven't figured out that this is the parabola, okay? That guy right there is the parabola, okay? This is what you get when you are graphing a quadratic function. How do you tell that it's a quadratic function? Well, it's quadratic because of the x squared, okay? This x squared makes it a quadratic function, okay? And so these 2 things, vertex, parabola, okay? Now the vertex says it's negative b over 2a, comma, y. So let's see what that means exactly, okay? So here's what we do. The vertex is negative b. So here's my vertex, negative b. Well, what was my negative b? That would be negative 6 because b is 6, so it's going to be negative 6, comma, y, right? Basically, comma, question mark. So here's what you do. We want to know what y equals. So here's our y. So we want to know what y equals when you plug negative 6 in for the x, because here it says x is negative 6. Now I probably said a lot of stuff that you're thinking like, wait, what? That's cool. You can pause it, you can rewind it, you could have me say it again. Or here, I'll just say it one more time. Ready? We want to know what this point is for the vertex. Well, we know that our x coordinate is negative 6. So that doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, did I? Oh, I messed that up. I totally messed that up. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so if you were confused, that's because I actually messed that up. I'm sorry. Let's do that again. The vertex, the x-coordinate is not negative b. It's negative b over 2a. Okay, that makes more sense. Sorry about that. So negative b over 2a is what we got right here. It's negative 1. So you're going to put a negative 1. And I'll give you a little shortcut. Whatever you get for your x right here, that's what goes right here every single time. Okay? And now to just kind of make it as simple as I can, all you need to do now is take this and plug it into your equation. Okay, watch this. I'll show you what we do. You write down the equation again. Y equals 3 times x, but it's not x anymore, it's negative 1, because that's what your x is, so negative 1 squared, okay, plus 6 times your x, remember your x is negative 1, okay, plus 1. All right, and if you work this out, you end up getting y equals, so this is going to be 1, so 3 minus 6 is negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. Okay? Now if I did that too quickly, guess what? You can pause it and work it out, okay? If you got lost, pause it, rewind, okay? You'll get used to this, I promise. And so now my vertex is, remember what the x-coordinate is, it's negative 1, okay, comma, negative 2. So now all I have to do is go to my graph here, start at the origin, go to negative 1, and then negative 2, and that's where my vertex is. Okay, and finally there's one last thing. It is the y-intercept, and that is 0, comma, c. Well, if you look back up here, this is your a, this is your b, this is your c. Your c is 1, so it's 0, comma, 1. Okay? And 0, comma 1, start at the origin. 0, comma 1 is right here. Okay, so my parabola is going to go from here through here, but there's also the other side. Remember, this is your axis of symmetry. It's kind of like a mirror. So everything you see on this side, you're going to see on this side. So if you see a point here, you're going to put a point right here as well. Okay, it's just going to be mirrored. And then all you have to do is just kind of sketch that guy in. All right, and put some little arrows there. And there is your parabola, okay? There's the first one. Let me do one more, okay? Let me do one more. We have y equals negative 2x squared minus 8x minus 3. It might be easier if you do this. If you go a equals negative 2, b equals negative 8, c equals negative 3. That might make things easier for you. I don't know, okay? But now we can use those letters. So the first thing is our axis. And remember, the axis is always x equals negative b over 2a. So negative b is going to be positive 8 over 2 times a, that's negative 2. So we get 8 over negative 4, which simplifies to negative 2. So my axis of symmetry is x equals negative 2. Okay, so I'll go to my graph, and I go start at the origin, go in the x direction to negative 2, 1, 2, and here's your axis of symmetry. Okay, and our next thing is the vertex. So let me write it down, vertex. Okay, and that's a point, right? And the x value, the x coordinate is what you get right here. So just go ahead and put negative 2 right there, comma. And now we need the y coordinate, okay? So I'll put down the y. And now let's write down the equation. Y equals, copy the equation, y equals negative 2 times x squared. But what is x? It's negative 2. Negative 2 squared. Minus 8x, so minus 8 times, remember, x is negative 2, minus 3. Okay? And so now we get y equals, and this is, let's see, 4 times negative 2 is negative 8, plus 16 is 8, minus 3 is 5. Again, if I went too fast there, go ahead and pause it, rewind it, or just pause it and figure it out yourself. You should get y is 5. So my vertex is -2, 5, okay? And so I'll go ahead and plot that. -2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's my vertex. All right. And let me get my y-intercept. And that is always 0, c, and my c is -3. C is -3 right there, so -3. And so we go 0, -3, so 0, 1, 2, 3, right there, okay? Remember, this is a mirror, so whatever you see on the right side, you will also see on the left side. So if I see this 2 spaces to the right of my mirror, I'm also going to see a point 2 spaces to the left of my mirror, okay? And go ahead and draw your parabola. And that is that, my friends, okay? Hopefully that was helpful, and I will talk to you soon.